made this little emoji keyboard or just and various promo and their likenesses and just seeing the different hats across.
Yeah. So each of them had their own hats, and then there were multiples for stunt doubles. And the uniform hats were recovered, and then the crusting that you see, like the lighthouse crusting that you see on the front so prominently, I personally hand stitched over top of what the contemporary crusting looks like, and gave each of them like the old hat. His hand stitching was much more prominent, and so then I had to duplicate that on the multiples. And then Rob, because he was young, was new to the lighthouse keeping, and Robert Eggers and I decided that his was a second-hand uniform, because widows in history did resell their, if their husband passed, they'd sell the uniform back to the lighthouse establishment. So we made his ill-fitting. It was because he was an assistant. He was a first assistant. His was not quite as, he didn't have a shawl collar on his vest, for instance. It was just straightforward. I can't remember off the top of my head all the other differences, but and then all the buttons that are on those uniforms, on the hat and on the uniform vest, like the waistcoat, jacket, and pants are all original buttons. And I was really thrilled to see in the poster, there's actually, you'll see that on one of them, there's a little tiny loop that you can kind of see on Robert's body, a little circle, and that's actually the way that buttons were kept on. There's like a little metal ring that you get, and you put the button through, rather than sewing them on, so that you can take the button off. So it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
That's actually visible.
I see that.
So as far as, I think it's hilarious that people are going to want to dress up as them. I got lots of requests after The Witch. What did Black Phillip actually look like? What if I was going to dress up as Black Phillip, what would I wear? That kind of thing. I got all sorts of requests that came through my agent. So I think that it's unlikely that anyone is going to go to the lengths of, building a three-piece suit, but they could certainly go to Salvation Army or thrift shops. We have Value Village here. I'm not in Canada. I'm not sure what you have, nationwide in the States. But, they could go to a thrift shop. They could go to a consignment place. They could go online. You could probably find, it's getting a bit more difficult, but places like Suit Supply or online, where you could find a DKNY three-piece suit, right? Like cheap, or a knockoff of something. They could look for a waistcoat vest like that has a collar or not. They could look for, they would be single-breasted. Not flat front, because these trousers are all way fuller. If people wanted to order hats, they could probably, I'm sure Claflin & Son would be delirious to get business.
Wool? Would you say wool?
They wouldn't be, the hats wouldn't be wool. They would be like a polyester blend. But it's Halloween.
Yes.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah. It gets more difficult if people wanted to dress up in what was the clothing that was meant to be the character's own clothing, right? Because those were all one of a kind, very refined. Like there's the blue, well, it's in black and white, so you wouldn't have blue. The shirt that has the kind of big front, shield front.
Yeah.
That was very specifically designed for Robert's body, given that he was wearing suspenders